In this video, we will be discussing some sample questions on data sufficiency. In previous video, we have already discussed what type of options you are going to get in data sufficiency. So I'll repeat it again for you. Option A is when a statement 1 alone is sufficient but a statement 2 alone is not sufficient. Option B, statement 1 alone is not sufficient but a statement 2 alone is sufficient. Option C, both the statements together are sufficient but individually are not sufficient. Option D, statement 1 alone or statement 2 alone is sufficient. And option E, both the statements together are not sufficient to answer the question. So we will follow the same approach here. So as we know, we'll be having two statements in a question. So suppose if the question is what is the value of P? So statement 1 is P plus Q is equals to 50 and statement 2 is Q square is equals to 100. So what are the options we have? That is A, B, C, D and E. So these are the 5 option choices we are going to have. Now come to the first statement. In statement 1 it is given that P plus Q is equals to 50. Now based on this statement, can you say or can you tell that what is the value for P? No, because suppose if I take my value for Q is equals to 10, then P is equals to 40. Or if I take Q as 20, then P is equals to 30. So see, there are so many values possible. So as I have already told you that in data sufficiency, getting an answer is not a thing, but getting a unique answer is a thing. So here it is asking what is the value for P. So 40 is also a possible answer and 30 is also a possible answer. So there are two possible answers. So hence I can say that statement 1 alone is sufficient. So that's why I can say that my statement 1 alone is insufficient. And as you know, I have told you this that when statement 1 alone is insufficient, then what are those options which you can straight away eliminate? So can I eliminate option A and D? Because as I already told you that if statement 1 is sufficient, then option A and D will be eliminated. But when statement 1 is insufficient, then option B, C or E will be your answers. Therefore, we can easily side away option A and D for this question. Now let's discuss the second statement. Now what's the second statement here? It says that Q square is equals to 100. So if Q square is equals to 100, what will be the value of Q? It will be equals to plus or minus 10. So if you look at the question, it was asking what is the value of P. But if you look at the statements, it hasn't discussed anything about P. And it was just giving information regarding Q. So based on Q, we do not know anything about P. That's why you can straight away eliminate your option B from the choices. So here, whenever you are looking at a statement 2, stick to statement 2 alone. Do not mix statement 1 with statement 2. This is one of the journal mistakes made by a lot of students. Now our next step is to combine both of the statements. So when you combine both the statements, so now you can try both the statements and try to answer. Now based on your second statement, the value of Q is equals to plus or minus 10. If I take my value of Q as plus 10, the value of P will be plus 40. And if I take my value of Q as minus 10, P will be equals to plus 60. So even if I combine both the statements, I am getting two different answers. So further, option C is also eliminated and option E is my answer. And this is the way how you are supposed to solve your data sufficiency questions. Let's have the next question. What is the value of P? Statement 1, P into 89 to the power 64 is equals to 856342983. Statement 2, P squares lies between 20 and 30. Now coming to the options which you have A, B, C, D and E. Now coming to your first statement, it says P is equals to something. So now if you look at the statement carefully, it is asking that what is the value of P. Now there is only one variable here and there is something equation kind of thing. So you can easily find what is the value of P. Remember one thing that in data sufficiency you need not to find what is the exact value of P. So you just have to check the statement and you have to tell that whether the statement alone is sufficient or insufficient. But if you look at this statement, you can easily find that what is the value of P. But even if you don't know what is the value of p, so we are least bothered to finding the value of p. But I can say one thing, that I can find the value of p. So if the statement 1 alone is sufficient, so what are the options which you can eliminate? You can eliminate option B, you can eliminate option C, and you can eliminate option E. So let's discuss second statement now. And what is that? It is p squares lies between 20 and 30. So now can you give me some value for p? So if I take it as 5, so 5 square is equals to 25. So like p squares lies between 20 and 30 and my answer is 25, so this is justified. So I can say my value of p is equals to 25. And if I take my value of p as minus 5, even in that case I'll get the answer as 25. And that is again satisfying my statement. So in second statement, like we are saying that two different answers are possible. So when two different answers are possible, so we can say that this statement is insufficient to answer your question. And for this very reason, option D will be eliminated and option A will be your answer. So here we do not have to do the combination because all the options are already eliminated. And when we were left with two options only, so after justifying the second statements, we were left with only option A.